and it's been quite a long ride, through the night time. Quite a long ride. I can't even quite open my eyes. I can't even quite open my eyes. I can't even quite open them up in the morning. It's so early. It's so early in the morning time. And it is quite early. But it's been a long ride. It's been a long ride. I guess I come up here early, come up here as soon as I wake up in the morning to come and sit and look at the pigeons and the pigeon crap and the moss and the rooftop. But the big point is that you come up to a nice quiet place like this so early to get some things off your chest. You want to you want to be able to talk a little bit, to be able to get things off your chest, and in that sense you want to free them. You want to take the abstract thought, which is based in human chemical emotion. Your human brain, chemicals secreting emotional definitions and emotional circumstances in your actual physical life, and you want to take those things that are beyond language, that are beyond thought, that are pre-natural, pre-lingual, and very highly personal and highly emotional. Those thought by nature is pre-lingual. It's epilingual, epilinguistic, outside of language in some case. I don't know the exact word for it. But the actual the form of thought is abstract. The form of thought, not so much the form of thought, but the interface of thought, even the interface between how you perceive, how you think, whatever that thing is in your brain, whatever that interface is in there, it's outside of human language, but it's very lingual in a sense, but it's outside of the human making noise, the monkey noises to communicate objects in the world. Thought is beyond that. Thought is more. That is the beauty. That's the thing. That is why that's the concrescence of mental activity, the thought beyond language. But it's to communicate that. It's to communicate that through language. Yes. Is that what you're doing? Yes. You want to get things off your chest. You want to take that abstract thing and push it out into the world. You want to take that abstract thing that is for the individual, for the individualistic human, bipedal binocular visioned monkey. That is their universe. With that type of abstract, emotional, interior landscape is what the universe is to you, to an individual human, an individual organism, its own environment. An individual organism is conscious of its own environment, first of all, in a very chemical, physical environment way, and also its own social environment. That you have these levels of organization. First there's the elemental level of organization, and you have these elements combining into molecular levels of organization, and then the physical structures and the physical levels of organization. And it's building. At least some people can define this as such, and building towards this, more highly complex levels of life. Highly complex meaning more to it, and also more for it to happen. More things would have happened to form life as we know it than to not form life. But the point being before, this is a good one. Okay. This is a good one that I don't know if I'll be able to get quite right in language right now, but the first good one, these are the in-between states that you try to take something from. These are the almost sleeping, almost unconscious states that you have feelings towards ideas. You have feelings towards particular concepts and directions and structures. In a very architectural, architectonic, I guess you could call it, architectonic way. You have emotional content towards structures. You have emotional content towards the world, towards all living things, but also towards concepts. You have architectonic emotional relationships to abstract, linear, non-linear, human history, your own particular human history. You have very emotional attachments to these things, but anyway, this is the thing that I'm trying to work through in the words right now, and that is our particular historical time, our particular moment in history, our particular moment in human history, our particular moment in what is around the corner is upon us, and it's in my own estimation. Let's see. What we are learning through right now, what I am learning through as an individual human, and also I think as a society, culturally and intellectually, right now we are learning that that the human is programmable. Yes, human consciousness is programmable. Not in a way into a computer. It's the reverse of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is making something whole that's over there. My particular opinion is that artificial intelligence is at the wrong direction to understand life. We human beings, human being consciousness, to be able to study it and looked at in people and the chemical compounds of consciousness, things like that. That is the direction artificial intelligence should be going. I mean, what they're doing with computers and what they're doing, modeling in neural networks and things like that is very interesting. And what it does is show us how we work. We don't care what a thing does. We don't care what kind of toy we can build. We want to know about our own selves. We want to know about human beings. So once you know about your own self, the process of making human beings is not very difficult. We've had quite a good deal of success with that. It happens all the time, and the evolutionary process is in place. All the immensely complex actions which must occur to produce a human life, and what that entails, both socially and physically and chemically and biologically, all these things working together to produce an individual mind. The cerebral cortex, the neural net of the human brain being one of the most concretized objects in the physical landscape of Earth. It's being one of the most complex, active, and just unique small spatial areas, floating around in these monkeys that have taken to the surface, that have control over the surface, or they hold. I think human history right now, we could say our monkey selves hold in balance, in jeopardy, hold in our hands, hold in our within the swathes of our reasoning, the future, safety, well-being, maintenance, and the lifespan of the Gaian mind, of the Earth, of spaceship Earth, of our own linear evolution as well. I mean, one thing we're really approaching, once you understand that human consciousness is programmable, and you may understand that it is being programmed by something, by many things. What we are learning through is how we work as human beings, how our minds work, how our brains work, how that translates into our ideas of self, our notions of place, space, time, human relationships, all these things. It all goes back to what we believe is happening in our individual minds, in our individual brains, / therefore our minds, our thought processes, our psyche, whatever you want to call it, our conceptions of self, I think would be probably a better one. So what do you want us to? You have to sum it up in a headline, because it's the only way to say it loud. The headline is: we are drastically different than what we think we are. There is a lot more area to explore within the human potential than we are, and I think we're approaching a quantum leap in the same way that there have been many quantum leaps in the history of humanity, but the quantum leap we're approaching now could very well be some type of other intelligence in the room besides ourselves, which I think is very, very likely. If we are just learning, if we are people are just learning now about how we structure the world, how we structure language, and even the small minutiae of what we know now, how much more vastly complex is larger existence. This is not the only game in town, that is for sure. There have been intelligences, there must be intelligences that understand this, that know this, that we can communicate with. I think a communication with another intelligence outside of human constructed intelligence is in our blood, first of all, is in our ground. It is all around us. It's a matter of us. The great leap forward is going to be us opening our eyes, waking from the nightmare of history, and looking around, coming this notion, this thing of coming into consciousness, understanding our place, understanding our bodies as inhabited things, understanding our bodies as tools, as physical mechanisms, in a vastly understanding our body as tools, as physical mechanisms, as objects to be used by us in an optimism, unforeseen, unheard of optimism. We are machines that are beautiful, 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 beautiful things. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Gotta get some coffee in the morning. Okay. We're going truly back to the mechanistic, but it would be a combination this time of going from the electronic through the forward escape notion into something that is more complex. That's such a terrible thing to say. What is the future we're going to understand? We are going to understand that we can change a lot more about ourselves than we thought. We can change a lot more. Basically, we want to play this idea, science, human technology, progress, art, life, living, solving problems. We want to play with a full deck of cards. We want to understand where we are, what is happening, what is going on, what is within our power to do. We want to admit what is possible in this earth, what is potential. We want to enjoy things, we want to enjoy ourselves, we want to enjoy life. Now, as all people probably say this about all times, but now we have the structure, the communication structure, the transport structure, the technological structure at least, to stop being so dumb. When we are more isolated, there's a certain leniency to being stupid, to not understanding the implications of your actions. But now, and in the future, it's only going to get more complex. It's only going to get more connected. You're only going to be able to see the consequences of your actions more clearly, more in your face, more actually possibly affecting yourself. This idea of seeing the consequences that your actions are having in your life, in the lives of others, is a very, first of all, it's a very psychedelic thing in the sense that on psychedelic drugs, a lot of times you are able to see very clearly the boundaries are blurred between you and others, your individual self and others, your individual self in the world, your individual self in your own body, your conscious mind in your own body. What your body is doing, if you're this idea of if you're an alcoholic and you take, LSD, these studies were done in the 50s, that you're going to see that you're killing yourself, you're killing your body, you're killing your life, you're stuck in a bad habit. We as humanity are stuck in a bad habit. We in humanity as a whole have the type of alcoholism. It's not so much humanity as a whole. Humanity as a whole, 99.999% are amazing, beautiful creatures that what I'm talking about. The people that are in power are the sick ones. The people that have the power, that have the money, that have the resources, that have the connections, technologically, economically, socially, all these things. The people that are in power are the metaphorical alcoholics who need to understand what their greed, what their systems of what they think they're maintaining, what they think they're trying to hold on to in life, what they think they're trying to attain. Say with unlimited accumulation of wealth and power and resource for nothing. These are the people that need to understand the consequences of their actions. And you know what? It trickles down. Forget that. It trickles down. Especially here in America, I can talk for a lot of people I know. Everyone can use a good boost of understanding the consequences of their daily, day-to-day, minute-to-minute, what they do, what they say, all these things, the consequences, the understanding of consequence, the understanding of action, the understanding of the power of action. That is a good one. The understanding of the power of action. When you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous. But understanding this is the turn. This is the turn we are seeing. This is the turn that's coming up. And I think it's going to have a lot of good things. And it's going to be that understanding, first of all, understanding what our actions mean as a society, as a whole, as individuals, understanding the power of gesture, the power of movement, the power of voice, the power of word, the power of thought, the creative and productive and power of thought that spews out this inorganic, not inorganic, very organic, but very abstract, this very abstract thought, what that translation process through language is into reality, and how the thought, word, action, in thought, in word, in deed, indeed, these things, they're there. They've always been around. These are old things. What is the functioning of that? What is the mechanism of that? What is that doing? The concrescence, the concrescence of movement, of action, of thought is speech, human speech. That whatever the brain, the areas in the brain which are responsible for human speech are looked at in a physical sense. Back up in the history of thought, history of human communication, history of communication of organisms. Human speech is very high up in expressing abstract ideas, but in more sense, there's got to be a physical process that brings things into reality, that creates movement, that creates dynamite, creates dynamite on the earth. There's got to be something better, man. There's got to be something better. And it's there. The funny thing is that it is natural. It is instinctual. We do it all the time. Because why? Because we enjoy it. There's an immense beauty and fun fulfillment of talking, of saying, of doing, but it only works. It only is good when you know it works. Speech, language, thought, talking, conversation is good when you know it's real. When you're talking about real things that you really care about. It's good when you know it's real, when you get into this place when you're looking at the thing in the eye and you're talking to it and you're talking about it, and you yourself are the thing you're looking in the eye. Okay, this was the idea of I passed a truck tonight. I was driving, it was late, and the trucking company was parked off to the side of the road in Pennsylvania somewhere. The trucking company's name was Kane, with a Kane, and their slogan was "Cain is able," right? Playing the biblical Cain and Abel thing. But then this is striking as Cain is able. Yes, the story is a metaphor for Cain is able, right? Cain and the brother Abel, two halves of the same person. The story is talking about. They're two halves of the same person, right? It's a classic story. That's what is so classic about it. It's a classic story of not brother against brother, but one part of the self, one part of the notion of self, one part of the psyche, one part of the human, one part of the individual mind against the other side of the individual mind. You could say something like, two hemispheres of the brain, but it's nothing like that. I think it's just one aspect versus another aspect, right? And that is a classic story that is sort of Elra's self-conflict, but also killing off the part of yourself, killing off those other parts of yourself in favor for the one, and that is when you are cursed. That is when you bear the mark of Cain. You bear the mark of Cain when you kill off that aspect of yourself, or other aspects of yourself, or any other part of the multiplicity. You bear the mark of Cain when you kill off everyone but yourself. And what does that mean? Killing off everyone but yourself means seeing yourself as a pure, separate, isolated, cut off individual entity from the rest of the world, right? Understanding that your actions have no consequence outside of yourself. And Cain is Abel, right? Cain is Abel, same thing. Individual, isolating themselves into thinking they're one thing. That is the mark of Cain. That is the cursed thing. And the cursed thing has brought us nothing but bad. The cursed thing has brought us nothing but bad. Well, I've got time. Well, I've got a captive audience. Personally, this thing is here. When I say this thing is here, it means this is an aspect of self. This is an interior monologue. This is the attempting to physicalize thought, physicalize art, physicalize these art as a concretion of human activity, a concretion of human and condensation of a lot of things. But personally, these are saying, you know what, these doing this, talking to a camera is talking to yourself. It's talking to yourself at the same time it is talking to every other human being alive. At the same time it is talking to every other person I know, or will know, or will never know. You may be seeing this when I'm dead. You may be seeing this when I no longer have the capacity to speak. You may be seeing this when time and space and all things are scrunched up into a little tight ball, and me standing here right now on this cold, cold morning can creep across and scrunch into your time wherever the hell you are. Wherever you may be, sitting somewhere nice in a warm place on a comfy chair with socks on or no socks on. It doesn't matter. With a face, with no face, with a head, no body, no mind, no nothing, doesn't matter. This is here. This is here for me, this is here for you right now. And that has so many amazing implications. So many amazing feelings and emotional things to it. It's great. And it's sad when you can't find this place. It's sad when you're not coming from this place. It's sad when you're not here in this place with me. I'm even saying that to myself. This is the place you want to be. If I could be in this mode all the time, if I could be this close to the abstract emotional underpinnings of my being, if I could be here all the time, it would be perfect. It'd be looking it straight in the face, it'd be saying the right thing, because saying the true thing, saying the thing that is so obvious to be said. I don't know. Just being there, just hanging around all the time. If you want to capture something about somebody, if you want to capture their identity, their individual person, hearing them speak, hearing their voice, that's how you know somebody. That's how you see somebody. That's how you can communicate with somebody. And despite all the other non-physical forms of communication through various energies or even energies we have not yet even discovered in our science, even those things can be said. Even my picturing, looking at the building behind me, picturing a red tall building with windows with yellow shades in them, drawn close, drawn down because it's a dark, gray, drizzly morning. What is it like outside right now where you are? If you are outside, if you are inside. The fact that we are both thinking the same thing right now, through time, space, layered upon each other. A simple parlor trick of nothing. It's like, right now, I can say, I'm going to think about what's going to happen the next time I take my cup of coffee. And I'm going to mark this time with my fingers, and I'm going to think about that particular finger snap. In the future, in 2 minutes in the future, whenever it is, I link those two times together. I can link them together like that. You can do it with all things, especially when you know something's happening. Like, say tonight, I'll be with all the people I know, doing something I know, in a very